Hey, welcome to my next video, and here I'm going to look at my top 5 macro finance channels on YouTube. What to watch about money, where, and why you might want to watch them. So firstly, just a quick definition of what macro finance is. Macro finance is the study of how financial markets and institutions interact with the overall economy. So we're talking about big picture here, things like growth, inflation, unemployment, combined with finance, i.e. the markets, investments, credit, and risk as well. Stock markets, currency, money, etc. So in practice, macro finance looks at questions like how do interest rates rise and fall, the role of central banks, how this affects stock markets, maybe you've got a mortgage, interest rates, how companies borrow or can get the interest rate for them borrowing. It also covers things like what happened in the 2008 financial crisis and how does that spill into the real economy. Maybe houses are cheaper, maybe houses become more expensive, maybe things that you want to buy become more expensive. So how do financial crises impact you in your real life, in the real economy? And what do investors expect about the future? So when they expect different things about the future, they therefore act accordingly. And how do global shocks like oil prices rises or falls, or wars like the pandemic, how does that affect the economy and how does that affect the market? So in practice, there's some questions that macro finance can look at or discuss. How do interest rates affect borrowing? How do financial crises affect the real economy, etc.? So there's some questions that macro can ask. As a quick way of thinking about it, really, macroeconomics is really like the weather. It's like predicting the weather, the financial economic weather. Whereas you as an individual, you've got an umbrella and that is your finances. That is there to protect you and to keep you sheltered. And do you need to have your umbrella with you currently, or do you not? And the macro, the big picture, the weather, what's going on that will affect the decisions that you make, and you make your decisions based on the information available. For example, maybe you're looking at buying a house, maybe you're thinking about you're borrowing money, maybe it's an interest rate, a certain interest rate, say 5% interest rate for a property that you've got a three-year borrowing rate of 5%, or maybe you've got a 5-year rate and it's at 7%. And that is the decision that you have to make as to what you think is going to be the best decision for you to make. Really, macro finance is really looking at that big picture as what potentially is coming down the road in the future. So with that, I'm going to show you the top 5 channels that I personally look at and I use on a regular basis. And so there they are: Moneko64, Liberty and Finance, Gary's Economics, Gold Silver Money, and Bald Guy Money. And I'm just going to show you a little video of each of those. So here you'll see there's Gary's Economics. And in Gary's Economics, he's an English guy. He was a trader, made a lot of money trading, and now kind of talks about economics in terms of what that big picture is. He's really focused on inequality, wealth inequality, and what really needs to happen in the economy in order for all people to thrive in it. There's some excellent videos. I recommend watching the Welcome to Gary's Economics. It's only 51 seconds. It'll give you an idea of what he's focused on. He's got an excellent mind, a really good way of thinking. One video I would really recommend is this one here, Elon Musk. What does Elon Musk want? Now this was already produced 8 months ago, so in 2024, beginning of 2025, but it's just a really good insight into billionaires, trillionaires, and them competing for the political and economic resources compared to the common person like you and me. So Gary's Economics, he's more focused on Britain and the wealth inequality in Britain, but he's got a really good picture overview of what's going on generally in economics. The one that's actually probably my favorite that I would suggest all people start with if this is a new topic to you is Gold Silver Money, an individual called Mike Maloney. And I would start with his famous series, The Hidden Secrets of Money, episode 1. This is really excellent information, and it will give you a really good introduction into understanding this whole area if you don't really know much about it and you're really interested in knowing more. He talks about the difference between money and currency, which is a crucial distinction that not a lot of people have an idea about. Most people consider currency to be money, and he really helps clearly delineate the difference between money and currency, and therefore why you actually want to be saving in money rather than currency. But I'll leave it there. If you are interested in this area, just go to his video, watch the first 20 seconds of Hidden Secrets of Money episode 1, and that should keep you engaged. If you're not engaged after that first 20 seconds, maybe this area topic's not for you, you can just leave it, but that's what I would suggest to start with. Okay, one of my other favorites, who I watch every day because he does a video every time, is someone called Mario Ineko. He has a website called Moneko64. Sorry, he has a YouTube channel called Moneko64. Again, really good. He's based in the UK, so his focus is on global macroeconomics, but he does also have an eye on what's going on in the UK as well. So he's really good. And again, like I said, I watch him every day. He has some really good interviews with people. Just yesterday, he had an interview with the US Senator Thomas Massey. Really good video. He's very good at explaining, as a former banker, very good at explaining the current predicament that the world economy is in. So again, highly recommend him. One of the people that I originally started in this area, learning about this area, was Liberty in Finance, and they, again, it's an American-based website, American-based information, but really good to have a load of different people that come on a regular basis and talk about those key two areas, liberty and finance. So when it talks about liberty, it's kind of quite focused on America and sort of free speech, also about different states and what kind of systems they have there, whether they encourage people to hold money or whether they encourage people to hold currency, for example. They hold a lot of different interviews with a lot of different people. A lot of time they have Andy Sheckman on from Miles Franklin, which is a gold and silver bullion dealer. Really good information, lots of variety of people that they interview, and it's very good for keeping you updated on macroeconomics. And the last one, there's so many out there, but the last one that I'm going to talk about here today is Brent Johnson. And Brent Johnson has his own website, and the one I would originally recommend you starting with is his dollar milkshake theory, which is an idea that he has about what might happen in the next financial crash. A lot of people think maybe that the dollar is going to tank, US dollar is going to tank and go down. He thinks that maybe that it's going to spike up before it actually tanks, and he has this theory which he explains in the dollar milkshake theory as to why he thinks that might be the case. So well worth checking out him as well, and particularly starting with his theory of what the dollar milkshake is. So those are my top 5 channels. There's so many more that are out there that are good as well, but I would recommend starting with those. Actually, I forgot to mention one more, and that is Bald Guy Money. And Bald Guy Money, you can just search out Bald Guy Money. Let me just put it in here and find it for you. Bald Guy Money. And again, he's another excellent commentator who looks at basically gold and silver and why you want to be in gold and silver at this current moment in time and not storing loads of currency or even being just invested in the stock market. So he's got really interesting views and opinions as well. Quite techie, he's quite into his charts and shows you the value of the total gold market compared to the total stock market, for example, and how they might move in opposite directions to each other. So Bold Guy Money, he does a video every Sunday, I think it is, with the occasional one in between as well. So he as well would make my top 5. All of these guys that I've shown you are people that I watch on a regular basis in order to understand what's going on in the economy, in the global economy, and to take appropriate action. I will talk in a future video about why you might want to be holding gold and silver rather than any particular fiat currency. That's a separate video for a separate day. So I hope that might be a good introduction for you into starting to think about how to preserve your wealth and how to build financial, build your financial health over a period of time. Maybe time short, maybe things are going to be happening quite soon, but this is your heads up. These guys and these videos are excellent at giving you an overview, an explanation, an introduction into macroeconomics. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to put any comments in the comment section, and I will speak to you again at some point in the future. Stay tuned. Bye.